Hi everyone and welcome to our Facebook Live. My name's Alyssa and I'm the Marketing Manager here at Katoomba. And today I'm so pleased to be here with Nadia Howard, who is the owner of Bedlam Hair Design and Bliss Day Spa and also the General Manager of Akobe Hair Design Salons. Hey Nadia, how are you?
Good, thank you. How are you?
Yeah, really good. It's great to have you back on here. We're really excited. At the moment, we've got Nadia on here specifically to talk about the fundamentals of salon pricing. And that's because at the moment, I've been going on for the past few weeks and it's going to keep going on post this live as well. We're doing a little bit of a focus on salon pricing and price increases. And that's because we know it's not everyone's favorite topic. And so we just want to provide you guys with kind of advice and information and strategies so that you can kind of work out what you want to do in your business. And we want to have that from all different angles and all the different experts. And so obviously a very important expert to talk on this topic is a salon and spa owner. So that's why we've obviously got Nadia here. So I will let her take it away. I really like the way that she thinks about pricing. So I think you guys will find this very interesting. And while we're chatting, as always, if you do have any questions, please do put them in the comments box. And I'm sure that Nadia is going to be able to give you some amazing advice.
Thank
so yeah,
you.
enough from me, Nadia. Go. Tell us.
It is a bit of a taboo subject, I think, pricing in a salon. And I think speaking to a lot of seniors that we have in both salons at the moment as well, is people just are too scared to charge what they're worth. And what they're worth, don't get me wrong, like if people are doing a service for a haircut and they're taking an hour to do that haircut, they should be pricing accordingly. So working out, I guess, in your salon is, what is your hourly rate? Rather than sitting there going, what's the price of your haircut, is what's your hourly rate? And I know a big thing talked about at the moment is gender pricing. Again, it's a subject that we don't like to talk about. I think it's getting easier to talk about it now. And it was something that we haven't really run into of all these years of hairdressing, a gender pricing, so a gender neutral pricing. And again, I think the easy way to find that is, what's your hourly rate for your, your senior stylist? And we sort of broke it down to, obviously with inflation going on and prices of product going up as well, we sort of worked it out to be our hourly rate for each stylist should be $100 to $120 an hour. So therefore, if you're taking that hour to do a haircut, obviously your charging is going to, it should be going up. A lot of us don't feel comfortable charging that by the hour. And yet you'd pay for a plumber to come in and check out your washing machine for half an hour, and you pay them a call out fee of pretty much the same amount, if not more. And again, I think, a lot of seniors that I speak to, or a lot of stylists that I speak to, they're like, we can't charge that. And it's like, well, if we're spending that time and the client's happy and getting their service, I don't see why we can't be charging for what we're doing. If you're someone that does half-hour appointments and you're charging $60 for a haircut, I mean, hey, it's on point. If you're taking 45 minutes, so we sort of worked it out to be around about on average, sort of if you're paying $30 every 15 minutes for a service, if someone's coming in for a quick clipper cut or something like that that's taking 15 minutes maybe, you're looking at that $30 mark and so on from there. So it works out that after that hour appointment, you're looking at $30 per 15 minutes. That's if you really want to break it down.
Yeah.
Otherwise, I think the other thing that we really look at is colour pricing. Again, our services are taking a lot more time. They're a lot more, our seniors are getting training done, our juniors are getting training done, our colour technicians have been really trained up. They're spending that time, a lot of them in their time, as they're going to, train on balayage and your foiling and your colour techniques. So they're putting the time into it. But again, we need to charge for that experience as well, whether it's you've been in the industry for 5, 10, 2 years. We need to charge for that experience. And clients are going to come back to it. And I think people say, oh, well, it's too expensive, they're not going to get it done. But they will come back and have it done. Our services are spread out more now. I think your balayage appointments, on average are 12 weeks. So we get them to come in between and get, a smaller service like a toner and a treatment in between to refresh that colour. But again, it's charging out accordingly. So if someone has a colour done and they're having a retouch colour and you're using 30 grams of colour, we charge pricing from a price. But then if that client's got thicker hair, longer hair, their regrowth's been left longer, you're using more product. So we introduce an extra colour service. Now, the extra colour service is, for example, 10 grams extra than what you'd do from it, your start base of 30 grams. So you charge for that extra colour service. Again, it comes down to consultation. So if we say to a customer, your hair's quite thick, our colours generally start from about, so amount. Because you've got a bit thick of hair, there is an extra colour cost, an extra colour service of, say, $30, which you add that onto the colour. Again, you don't have that awkward finish of, oh, by the way, that's a bit more this time because your regrowth is more. It is, hey, we're going to have to use a bit more colour on your hair, so there is an extra colour service involved. Is that okay?
But they can truly see where that cost is coming from as well. Like, so they're paying for your service and doing that right. But when it costs more, charging them more and explaining that shows them that is why we're doing it. It's not because we feel like it today. So I really like that approach.
Yeah, you're getting more colour, and that's what you're paying for. And I think, as a salon, salon owners would understand this because they're using more colour. Why should they use more colour on the stylist? Whether you rent a space, whether you're paid, by the hour, or you're on commission, or you own a salon. There's no reason why we should feel that we should have to take that cost on if that person has left their regrowth longer or got thicker hair, because it's taking us longer. So you pay for time these days. You pay for time and product.
Yeah.
And I think a fair way of doing it is, if it's taking you more time because that client's got thicker hair, you charge more because generally you're using more product. So we sort of leveled it out and kept it very easy with what is the starting colour. So we have a price for a retouch colour, or for half head highlights or full head highlights or balayage, whatever service you're doing. And then we've got, okay, so that's how much is this much product will be used for that service. If you use over that product, you add on an extra colour service. Meaning it just says on our appointment book, it says extra colour service, which means that we've used extra colour and it's going to price accordingly when they check out at the end of it.
Yeah. Cool.
So,
it's
simple.
Sorry, you go on.
It just keeps it simple that way, and then all of the staff understand how the system works.
Yeah, I totally agree. So for you, it's really about charging the right price in the first place. Like, it's not about price increases. It's actually, getting what you deserve to be paid for the services that you're providing.
Well, a lot of the services now are more, I guess, your freehand balayage, it takes longer because there's an art to it. You've trained for that. Someone's coming to you specifically and requesting, a lot of the time requesting you because they've seen your work on social media or something. They've seen your balayage technique looks amazing. Why shouldn't you charge for that experience?
Yeah.
Like, why shouldn't you charge for that service that you're providing, that you've trained yourself on and perfected yourself? And I think we just sometimes don't feel like we can charge it. But then saying that, I think it's something now that more of us are saying, actually, I'm worth that. And why not?
Yeah, absolutely. And so then I guess what's your approach when it comes to price increases? Because obviously you're happy with what you're charging, but how often do you review your pricing and kind of how do you go through that process?
I think it varies. We generally would look at it annually if we haven't done it in between for any other reason. All of my staff in Bedlam, and then with the Akobe teams as well, everything's priced accordingly. But then if things change, generally annually, I guess, is where we would look at. And it doesn't really work. I mean, colour-wise, it might be a couple of dollars, but I mean, a couple of dollars on a haircut annually is not really something that's noticed. We will put a little sign on the desk saying, hey, as from the 1st of June, there will be a slight price increase. And it generally goes unnoticed. We try, you can actually alternate them. It depends. Everyone does them differently, I think. But we choose to, I've always done them. I've increased the colours by a few dollars, and then maybe 6 months later, I've increased the cuts. So again, you're not getting that, increase of maybe $5 to $10 on their service. It's just a couple of dollars at a time. And then it doesn't hurt as much for clients. They know that, we're getting the training in there. They know that we're experienced. They're happy with what they do, and we don't have any problems with it at all because we're offering that extra training, that extra service. They're happy with what they've got, so they'll pay for it.
Yes, and it's probably the clients that are going to quibble over $2 that you don't really want anyway. So
they're probably the ones that would go anywhere to get their hair done. If someone's shopping around to get their hair done by price rather than by experience, they will always find someone cheaper, but generally they will come back and go, someone's done this to my hair, can you please fix it? And again, it could be because it's a cheaper model because they're not training, they're not keeping up to date, or maybe, for whatever reason, but you pay for an experienced stylist and they keep up with their training. And quite often salons now are offering a lot more training. Brands like your retail brands and colour brands are offering that training, and a lot of salons are taking it, which keeps them up to date. And, that's not cheap. Training is not cheap. No. So therefore, salons are paying for the training. They're paying so that you get a good experience. So, you've got to pay for that.
Definitely. So it sounds like you look at your pricing based on time. Do you ever look at what your competitors are doing, or is it more from a perspective of, well, this is actually what I think our time is worth, and, or maybe your product prices go up, so then that kind of alerts you to actually maybe we're undercharging? Like, how do you get that sense of when's right to increase a price?
We don't tend to look around at what everybody else is charging. I think the way to get a proper price on your service is what your staff are training on, how long your staff take in time for these services, their experience. I don't think it matters what people around you are charging, because people are rebooking with you, and your teams are fully booked out in advance for a reason. So I think you charge accordingly to the service, to the product they're using, and the time that they spend on it. I don't think it matters what the person up the road's charging. Overheads are different in every single salon. If a salon up the road has 3 staff and they're charging out at a certain amount, it doesn't compare to being in a bigger salon, maybe a higher overheads, more staff. I think, again, pricing accordingly to your own business. It's up to you what you charge. Your overheads, what you spend on product, and how long your staff spend, or how long you want them to spend on services. I think you should really keep to, what your costs and overheads are, not what the person up the road's doing. Personally, that's what I think.
Nice. I like it. And so obviously you've done lots of I'm sure you've changed pricing over the years. You would have done price increases. What has your experience been like? It is scary for everybody, but have you had any bad experiences, or is it actually always just goes through and it's absolutely fine?
I don't think we've had bad experiences, like not with customers. I think you're always going to get the customer that comes in and says, "Oh my God, that's expensive," and you're like, "It's what we charge. Would you like to book an appointment?" Yeah. Or give them that option to go online. A lot of people, have online booking now, and they pay deposits. And again, that was a scary thing from the start. To have clients pay deposits. I mean, that was really scary, but they can see pricing. And as long as you're putting these pricings are from a certain price on your description on your booking page, then there's generally not a problem. And again, it comes down to your consultation. Before you start that client's here, make sure you're consulting properly, and make sure you're spending that time to give them, an estimated price, and just say, if there is an extra colour service, it may be an extra $30 to $50, depending on how much colour we end up mixing up. I don't think we've had any bad experience. I think it does come down to, if a stylist has had a bad experience, they tend to panic when they go to charge somebody the price that their service is worth. So it's working with our teams to make sure they're priced right. I mean, you do have a lot of salons now, unfortunately, that haven't made it through COVID, and it's really hard to see these salons, good salons, good hairdressers that haven't made it. But sometimes a big fear was to charge properly. And unfortunately, they haven't been able to maintain their overheads because they haven't been able to charge, or maybe don't feel like they want to put their price up there. We absorb a lot of prices as salons as well over the year. There's regular price increases with our brands at the moment.
Yeah.
So, they're paying more to get things in. We've got to pay more to use them. Couriers are more. They take longer to get stock. So we're having to hold a lot more product as well. So I guess, again, it's the fear of charging what they're worth, and it can be to detriment of your own business. We don't want to see any salons closing. Everybody's had that dream to open their own business.
Yeah.
You've got to charge what you're worth. Otherwise, it can be, they'll go to the salon up the road if you have to close.
You've
and they'll pay the extra.
Yeah. You've said training is so important, and it kind of sounds like actually sitting down and training your team on this is why your services are priced at this price, and giving them that confidence and that understanding, so that when they go to charge that, they're not afraid of charging that price, because they understand like the mechanics of that pricing and why they're worth that. Sounds like that would be really helpful.
You can speak. I mean, you can tell your clients that you've just been on a training course. We make it quite obvious when we do training in the salon. I mean, we can get a trainer into the salon, because we've got quite a big team. So we can get a trainer into the salon. It's nothing from $1,000 to $1,500 to get them in for the day. But hey, some of them could be more. Some of them are cheaper. You can send them on individual courses. Again, you're paying anything from $100 to $500 for a daily course. And it's generally, again, the stylist, a lot of them, it's in their own time.
Yeah.
That they're making sure that they're up to date so that you get that service. You charge for that.
I really like the idea of promoting it. Even putting it on social media. Hey, our team spent the day upskilling on the latest hair trends. We can't wait to see your next appointment and see, what changes you might want to make.
Exactly. We did some training on Monday, and the team came in and did some training. They absolutely loved it. Like, everyone's just beaming now to do more. And we put it on our social media, look what we're doing today. Why not? The clients want to see it, and they'll come to you because you're more experienced. Yes. And they'll come to you because they want something new or something exciting. But we've got to learn how to do that, how to keep up with these trends. So, and they're happy to pay it. I don't think I've heard a client walk out saying that wasn't worth what I paid.
Yeah. Cool. And any final words of wisdom from a salon and spa owner to other owners that are thinking about their pricing at the moment?
I think trust your team. And if you're getting your team trained and you're spending that money on your team, I think don't be afraid to, make sure that your prices, maybe go through and just double check that, what are you paying for your colours? What are you paying your staff, the hourly rate? Like, maybe sit down and try and work out, it's not easy to sort of find out. A lot of people are natural at that sort of stuff with their business owners, but some of us aren't. It took me a while to learn what my hourly rate was. And once you've worked it out and you've actually broken it down, the way to grow your business is by charging, accordingly. I know I keep saying that word, but charging accordingly and working out what your hourly rate is, for all of your staff. Because then you've got to take into account, you've got apprentices. We're training them up. Our team's training them up. They're learning how to do stuff. That all comes into your hourly rate per stylist. It's just trust your team. And if you're training them and you see the work they're doing is good, price it accordingly, and teach your staff, talking to your seniors about, what is their break-even mark? What is their cost per hour, and what goes into their hourly cost? Your services, your hourly rate, your day-to-day paying your bills of, your power, the product you're using. Once I found once my team knew what that number was, they understood it more, and why time management was important. Yeah.
Because every minute's probably worth a lot. Even break it down to that, right?
Well, every minute lost is a lot as well, and it, like we all know at the moment, for every appointment that either no shows or cancels at the last minute, we know what that's worth now.
Yeah.
And it's always been a problem, but it's never been a biggest problem since the big C that we're not going to talk about.
That we do not speak about.
that word. But I think people are getting more on track now. I think clients understand that it's actually not okay and they have to pay a deposit. So, and a lot of people ring up now because they want that appointment. They're willing to pay for that appointment. We've got people that will ring up and say, if someone cancels, I'll pay more for the appointment. Like,
Wow.
they're desperate for appointments. They want that appointment because they can't get in for, a couple of months between now and Christmas. There's not a lot of salons that have got appointments available. So they're willing to pay for that service. And they're willing to rebook for them and making sure they turn up, because they ring up and say, hey, have you got anything? I need to change my appointment. It's like, look, there's nothing for 3 weeks. Okay, I'll keep it. Don't worry.
Yes.
They'll make it work.
Amazing. I love that. That's so good. But yeah, it sounds like you need to also train your clients to know to rebook and book in early and pay that deposit and all those things to try and stop those no-shows and cancellations.
Exactly. Yeah.
Cool. Oh, well, thank you so much, Nadia. It was so nice having you back on here. And thank you so much for sharing, being so open and sharing kind of your, experience and what you do in your business and things like that. I know it will help lots and lots of people watching. So thank you.
Thank you for having me.
Of course. And thank you all so much for watching, and we'll see you on our next Facebook Live. See you guys.